By the time you're watching this video, I'm inside a theater watching PS2. So I'll soon upload my raw thoughts just coming out of the theater. So do subscribe to get that. Let's check out this interview by Film Companion. I'll put the link description. You can check out the whole video there.
It's such a pleasure to see all of you again. And this is what I said last year. I said, like, this is a frame with so much beauty, so much talent. We don't need to speak. And I feel like that all over again. Also because PS1 was so amazing.
Thank you.
And genuinely, all of you were so good. It was so rich in emotion and beauty. And
Recently rewatched the film live on the channel. If you haven't seen, check it out. This was, again, this time I saw in Tamil. So I'm hopefully going to see PS2 also in Tamil. Hopefully there are subtitles.
just spectacle. And I want to start by just asking what that was like. Okay, this film is a blockbuster. Did you get together to party? Did you say all those 135 days of waking up at 3 a.m., going into makeup and then going to shoot at 6 a.m., it was all worth it?
Arriving at 3 a.m. Don't ask about the wake-up call. The wake-up is way earlier.
So did it feel like sort of vindication for all that rigor? Because this is a film, when we saw PS1, it was clear that a lot of work had gone in.
Yep.
What did that feel like?
So there was a lot of build-up around the film because people have read it so many times. There are multiple generations who have read this book and they're waiting for this film to be made. So there's a lot of pressure on us how they're going to accept, because there are two types of audience. One who have read the book and making sure it's true to the book. And there are other audience who don't know anything about it, who have to understand the story. So making both of them understand, you have to skip certain things to take it forward for the people who have not read it. I think that juggling, Mani sir did it so well.
They have done a good job in that, I would say.
And the pace of the film was also like intact. In spite of the length of the film, it was just engaging throughout, That was something which worked brilliantly on screen. Like when I watched the film, I told Mani sir, this film has a very different rhythm. The way it flows, it's not like any other film because it doesn't stop anywhere. It just keeps flowing. That's the pace with which they narrated the story. And then when we saw, we had 5 o'clock morning shows, and usually there are only youngsters who come at early mornings. This time it was all old people. Guys coming with their moms. Mothers, all mothers waking up and coming in the morning. I'm getting goosebumps as I say all that.
Even with their walkers,
It was a phenomenon. It was a phenomenon. And we're so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's cinema.
I mean, usually people who read the book are very critical of a movie. I myself am one of those. But it was like he said, even the ones who read the book felt Mani sir did justice to all the characters. And I think Mani sir put a face to every character in the book.
Yeah. Now it's impossible to think of these characters without thinking of your faces. Vikram, sir, you said at the audio launch of PS2 that like Aditya can't forget Nandini, I can't forget Aditya. Because he's such a fascinating character. And I was just thinking, when artists are part of something which is so momentous, right? And of course in
I'm getting so excited for PS2, man. It's tomorrow for me. Right now for you guys.
terms of, it was a blockbuster, highest grossing Tamil film of last year, but also in terms of the connect with the audience, like people coming in at 5 a.m. and watching these films. Does it alter you permanently in some way when you become part of something that's a landmark like this?
It changes you, definitely. I don't know whether it humbles you or you start getting a little more
His
haughty,
look from
I don't know,
Thangalam.
but, and hot-headed. But I think it definitely, the impact of a film like this changes. And it wasn't just a blockbuster. I mean, it wasn't just the biggest blockbuster. I think it was something that was poignant with all of us because of the 70 years history that's been behind the book. So
It resonates, yeah.
And it resonates like that because every actor has been imagined in one of those roles through these decades. Every actor, like from Sivaji Ganesan sir and MGR till today. So being a part of something like that is wonderful. And when you feel that, like you say, that we feel validated because after, it's not just the work, it's like so much of vision in it, like what Mani sir did, what Eka has done with the clothes, what Totadarni sir did with the set design and music, everything.
Yep.
I think even Rahman sir, when you speak to him and I tell him,
I think, everyone paid for their work, right? They've worked on the film, they were paid for it, move on with their life. But you put so much energy and effort, to making it pay off. And that payoff is like people coming to theaters to watch it and loving it, Of course, more people come, more box office, It's not just about, oh, I made so much money, it's, I'm validated. It's about the love you get.
How's it come out? I mean, he never tells me, oh, it's nice, it's good. He says, it's a message. He feels something more deeper. Like the way he talks is he's not even thinking of it as a movie. He just feels like it's just a dream come true. I think it's for all of us. And so you feel really good. And another thing is we've been princes and princesses. Somewhere that stays back, in a little way. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Is it tough to become sort of, though I have to say movie stars in our country are royalty, no matter what, but is it tough to become commoners again, in a sense?
Yeah.
I'm missing the horse, though.
It's like, yeah.
I'm missing the horse.
We don't look for bread anymore. It's always cake.
Aishwarya, for you, being Nandini, easy to let go of that?
I don't think there's a question of letting go. It'll always live with me. I mean, there's no question of letting go. Working on a movie like this, in terms of the experience, like you're saying, the experience of making
spoilers,
it,
I don't
and
want to see
the
any
way it's been
visuals.
received by the audience. I think each one of us have been left overwhelmed, immense gratitude, immense satisfaction as professionals, because at the end of the day, we're all artists. What do we look for? A very, very, an experience that leaves you so content with bringing your characters to life, putting your all into living the character through the making, but eventually seeing that up there on screen within a narrative where it all fits just right, so real, rings true and rings correct. I mean, at the end of the day, while we'll, of course, and rightly so, every member who's been part of this film deserves to rejoice and enjoy the fruits of the result of the outcome in terms of the way it has been received or the numbers it has garnered and the appreciation that that everybody's taken home. But at the end of the day, it's a good film, and with the most brilliant director for all of us, and to work with superlative technicians in every aspect, and a great team, a great cast. We are all here, and all those who are not sitting with us as well.
I agree with the
Each
last part
one of
especially,
them
the great
has,
cast.
each one of them have been true. And this one, will take some time. True to Aditya Karikalan.
Being serious.
Full Josh, but seriously. No, but but it's true. But it's true. I mean, humor aside, everybody is committed, earnestly. And that comes across, that rings true, and I don't think Mani would have it any different. Ravi has done magic, visually very easy on all the vanity for all of us. Ravi is smiling as well.
I saw that little flush that just came out.
You did great too.
Yeah, you too. So, everyone, Rahman, as he said, he's always got a spiritual connect, and he always brings that magic to every one of his, pieces of work. But definitely with Mani, the two of them together are something else, and we are blessed to be part of this great team,
He put it so well. Last year when we talked, you said we're all prisoners of Mani sir's art.
Definitely.
And I think, exactly. It's a mic drop statement.
I take that.
Hannah?
Haan ji.
Bilkul. So I want to talk a little bit about how he gets performances out of you. Like for you, that scene where you open the door and Nandini is with Veera Pandian, and that look in your eyes is so haunting. It's so heartbreaking.
Spoilery.
How does he bring that out of you? Are you co-creating characters?
For me, I think that was a very important scene which actually comes after a big battle and a chase and one more fight, and then it goes there, and then it was an elaborate scene which was suddenly comprised into just a couple of shots because it comes in the song. So I already had a description of what happens and what ensues. So when I had that shot, I realized that within those 3 shots, we had to communicate, and which is what Mani sir also communicated with me. And he inspires you. I mean, he tells you everything, even what is not there in the book. So when I was there, I mean, I just had to open the door and it was already there, whatever I had imbibed from him. And I felt it. I mean, a lot of other people also asked me, specifically that shot. When you opened the door, what was it? What were you thinking? Actually, I wasn't thinking anything. I think it was all
feeling,
there.
for sure.
I mean, it was just the moment.
And
the fact that I don't meet her at all in the whole film, except there. So that was very significant for me as an actor. I know that it's that look when she looks at me, and you suddenly, maybe if I'd done a couple more scenes, I may not have felt that, intense.
Interesting.
So I know that in that place, I mean, we had to connect in some way, and it
That
happens,
one moment.
it's so organic.
But isn't that so magical about
Yeah,
Mani's
it is.
movies? He'll not spend necessarily so much around conveying that the intensity of that one
That's-
moment, and that one moment will just say it all.
Absolutely.
It's
And it
magical.
actually, it had to end gruesomely. He changed that.
Can you?
I had to walk away. I had to
And
walk
then the
away with a
flip,
head,
wow.
actually.
Oh,
No, but it would have been a silly
Yeah,
shot.
I saw that.
But even that moment, but even otherwise, for that moment to flip like that in an instant is, it's so, like I said,
was
everything just
fantastic.
fills your heart.
Yeah,
You're just like, oh my God, from this to that,
but the blood on that sheet
Yeah, that's.
is all you needed.
Yeah, it was gruesome, but suddenly it became art.
Yeah, absolutely. For you, Karthi, your character is the one bringing in the humor, right? The one this is a very sort of gory succession drama, but you're the guy with the charm. How does an actor harness charm? And how do you know when charm is just
Working.
right? And when it's working, and when is it too much? I mean, that's tricky.
And the girl starts fainting.
Write a book about it.
Karthi?
In fact, yesterday he was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I noticed after these many days, I noticed it yesterday. I don't know how.
Mentioned it yesterday.
In 130 days, you didn't notice he's charming?
Because the charm was seamless.
wow, Karthi, what a compliment.
Right. I read the
I love the energy between all of them.
and I used to read the scenes before I come to the spot. So Mani sir would say, "Did you read the scene or the script?" I mean, the book or the. I said, "So both, sir." I said, "You stop reading the book. You're going to ask me too many questions." But having said that, I think Mani Ratnam has his own spirit of energy all over. He's someone who can easily connect with people. I think that I got stuck in my mind. And beyond that, I think as a person, I'm somebody who can easily relate with people. I think Mani sir said, I think what naturally is in you seems Vandiyathevan, so don't try too hard. Try to be as simple as possible. So being simple really worked for me. Being at ease really worked for me. Not thinking that, I'm this warrior and all that. Finally, I'm a boy,
Who's naturally
and
charming.
who's got
And also, Karthi, I felt the dialogues worked a lot where you actually didn't have to perform so much.
Yes.
You feel it, you be charming, you just say those lines, like the interaction between
And
the
the
two of you on the
moments.
boat and with her. The
one-liners
words
are
was
excellent.
like that place where she opens the door and she says, "You better not go in there."
Like
You're
she
the
says,
ruby. She says, "Yeah."
Be careful, the treasury is down there, so don't get tempted. I said, I'm already seeing the diamonds here. Did you get
Looking at
tempted?
her.
I said,
Looking at
When you have dialogues like that, it just.
You literally flirted with every woman here except her, right? In this film.
No, that also, I was about to, and Mani sir said, "You have seen Kundavai, now stop doing it anymore."
You actually asked it so beautifully. That's a very thin line.
It is.
Because it can go wrong. But I think I don't know, that was your magic. You just brought
Mani sir.
it out. Mani sir's magic, of course.
Yeah.
Mani sir's
Because-
heroes are the most charming heroes. The quintessential lover boys.
Yeah.
The way they can charm the women is so amazing. But
Charming
normally
can
they
be
get to
creepy
only.
sometimes.
It can be creepy,
Can be
But the
creepy,
moments
but-
also written in a, the charm is also brought in there so well that, when the
Yeah.
character just constantly flips.
Absolutely,
that
absolutely.
The lines are loaded, they're layered. There will be the charm, but there'll be something else being said. There'll be a message
Yeah.
being given.
I think watching the film just now recently, I can connect what they are talking
when
about.
something strong has to be said, when he says it, this guy is he is charming. He's got the little charming boyish smile, as he says. And he throws that in,
heard it from
even with the
Ash's
sword.
mouth.
It's lovely. It's lovely, and Mani does magic. I mean, we'll go on and on with that.
That's
They're
the
kind
mantra.
of
Yeah, but
synonyms.
in your scene with him, I love that scene where you take the knife out, right? As soon as he's
Yeah.
trying to flirt with you. For both of you, genuinely, your characters, obviously, like you were saying, Sobhita, it's not that you have screen time, but what you said to me last year, that it doesn't matter because it's written with such care and with such detailing that we know who these women are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you wonder, because I genuinely do, because first of all the women, no offense to the men, but the women in this film are just kick-ass.
Yay!
We agree with you.
Thank you also.
True.
The writer.
The writer.
So right, so which is what I'm
So
coming
ahead of
to,
his
that
time.
70 years ago.
Yeah, so ahead of his
Kalki
time.
was writing these incredible women. I mean, you're a
Absolutely.
working woman who's like, you know, taking this boat, just fearless. I mean, do you ever wonder why writers can't do this now when he did it 70 years ago?
Yeah, we do wonder.
Rhetoric question, Anya.
Completely, please. Different interview.
How many interviews have we sat with you asking this? You wonder why, you know?
We wonder. We wonder why. We do wonder.
Shobhita?
Today's, writers do write characters that are better developed, but I don't think they necessarily make it to film. But I've had the chance to do something like A Made in Heaven, where the character had the opportunity.
Streaming gives you that.
So I feel like it really depends on the courage of the makers, really. If they have the patience and the interest in sort of honoring all of what a woman can be.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's limited to streaming. I mean, even cinema gives you that, but like she said, or like we all will agree, it depends on the maker and the writers.
Yeah.
And plus, if you want to go out and bring that into the narrative, it is there. It is not about the platform at all.
But I also feel the film should be supported. When a film like that is made, how many people are going to come forward and support it, no? Especially if you say women folk have to come forward and support the film and make it win big. So more are made like that. I'm not saying men shouldn't support, but I'm saying when we want it, I think we have to ask for what we want. So when such films are being made, you guys have to keep talking about it, make so much
happy
noise
to do it.
that make sure everybody watches it. You know, as a producer, that's what I felt. You know, sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Manisa has actually, because this is a confusion that I've had. I've had the luck to, play characters that are well written, female characters that are very well written. But there's this constant confusion of how many of these will I keep doing when the audience is not supporting us that much. So Manisa said this one thing that stays with me. He just said that during the promotions. He said, keep doing it. Don't get disheartened by what's happening at the box office. Keep doing it, because that is how you support our industry. That's how you make sure that well-written female characters keep getting written.
And like you said, well written, like we're telling her, and I mean, that was the way it was even with Iruvar, right? It's not about your screen time, it's about memorable characters. So when you're, and everybody, I mean, from time immemorial, irrespective of how, people decide to put it down in, it's never put down in the credits. It's done in the recognition of the credits, where people turn around and designate what, what kind of actor you're in the film, whether you're a lead or that. Your credits never say that. Everybody is part of the making of the film, and you're all playing your characters to the best of the narrative, and that's the way it is. So if it's impactful and memorable in the writing, in the directing, and in the performance, when it all comes together in synergy, it'll be memorable.
Absolutely.
And that's very satisfying for us as actors,
Yeah.
I also think that often we view women in films from the point of view of a love story or the man's eyes, so we only see her in that role, which can sometimes feel
Makes
boring.
sense.
But I feel like a film like this has given us the chance to understand what a woman is, independent of her equation with a man. Like you see a Kundavai in her own space, you have a chance to assess how her thoughts move. Because who I am with you is very different from who I am with a friend, with a parent. So somewhere I think it gives a well-rounded understanding of what a person is when we see them through different perspectives. So I think in this film, everyone is viewed from different perspectives because all characters are well written. So I think that it gives a better understanding and more depth.
I mean, it's amazing that the king is rescued twice by a woman. Which is so fantastic. Speaking of the king, Ravi, you're noble, you're upright. You are the man who will refuse a throne because, you refuse the crown in Sri Lanka because that's not what is the right thing for you to do. Upright and noble is great in life, but it's often dull cinema, right? What was the challenge for you? Because you made him human, you made him vulnerable. Was that difficult?
Yeah, being a good guy is really difficult.
Vikram had it easy, right?
I didn't have to act.
But you know, being the bad guy, you have some body language. You can show that you are bad. But being good, what body language can you show? So I thought it has to come. It has to be seen.
He looks so different. Like, just see him in the poster and here, like two different personalities. Look. Forget the look. Just personality. The way he talks, so different.
When you look at somebody. So I was trying to bring down all the positive words into life and learn from it. What does this mean and that, and nothing worked out for me. But all I did was, the voice of Mani sir, how he explained this character to me, that was the guideline for me finally. And after the release, before, at least my brother, who is a director also, he said, Ravi, when I saw you, he's done 7 movies with me, and he's my brother, elder brother, who's lived with me all his life. I've lived with him. He said, when I saw you in the first shot in the movie, I couldn't see Ravi there. So, that was the best compliment anybody, not anybody, only he can give. Yeah. And he said a word where I was searching for many words. I should have spoken to him earlier. He said, you were so righteous. And I was like, this is the word I was looking for. Now the movie is done. But somehow, without even picking up the word,
That is so relatable.
I felt it, yes.
Yeah.
He always has this thing about Mani sir, give me the word, keyword.
Yeah.
Sir.
We have
Please
that
give me a
word.
keyword for the
Correct.
scene.
I have a feeling our processes are very similar.
Our process?
Yeah, acting thing, yeah.
You need a word.
Yeah, we should work together often. So I asked Mani sir if he is he doesn't know how to explain or I don't know how to receive. Then I said, sir, keyword, sir, give me confidence.
Nice.
Alters the performance.
Yeah,
it does.
yeah.
It does.
Trisha, what was your keyword? Because Kundavai is such a boss lady.
He really did say this to me. He said, think of her.
I think they talked about
Sam,
last
we're
time
all
also.
from Chennai. We've literally grown up seeing her, watching her films, how she was as the CM. So he said every time, because stop being Trisha, think of her, how she walks, how she talks. She's always a little bit on guard.
Look at her behind, like.
She doesn't
got it,
let
she
her
nailed it.
emotions come out because that's how you need to be. That's how a Kundavai needs to be. So I actually did start thinking because I've watched so much of her videos, her films, the way she speaks, and he wanted that. So it actually did help. Because you kind of know people who know her. I mean, all of us know how she walks, her body language, how she talks. She's always the queen. Yeah. So that.
You can feel her intelligence all the time.
Yeah, always.
And
Yeah.
her command, Wherever she is, she's in command. You can feel it without saying much.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm getting deja vu of Iruva here when I'm sitting here.
That's been his keyword for a long time.
That's before being the chief minister.
Yeah, you're lucky you got to do both. Yeah.
Aishwarya, you were genuinely. Nandini is such a mesmerizing character, right? Because she's somebody who's been twisted by hate and tragedy.
Not looking.
But you never let her be the villain. You feel
Or
for her.
feel sorry for her.
Yeah, no,
Both
but
ways.
you
I mean,
want her to be happy. I mean, I want the two of you to finally do a film where you just live happily ever after.
Forget other directors, tell it to Mr. Mani Ratnam first. He seems to be getting into a habit.
But it's so beautiful each time.
Each time.
is.
It's like,
At the same time, it's like right there, and each time is so
we actually have the shot in Ravan. It's like,
Yes.
when I fall.
Yeah.
How did you find the humanity in her?
With Mani, it's just easy. That's all I can say. I mean,
It's his
What
brief.
you end up doing is you just end up talking, and then you become. I don't remember discussing a specific keyword at any point in time. But I think with me, each time I've got the, blessed opportunity of working with him, you just talk about the film, you talk about the character, and I don't know, you come onto set and you become. I think it's very simplistic. Sorry, I can't give a lot more, anything more dramatic than that. But you just become the character. It's the conviction with which I think you approach your craft each day. you're not even thinking you're approaching your craft. You're out there, everybody's there, completely committed, completely invested, you're completely in that world. And you're true to the emotion of the narrative, of what you're conveying. And I mean, incredible women each time that I've got the opportunity to work with them. And Nandini is amazing. I mean, she's completely human to me. I mean, look at and she goes through the gamut of emotions. Again, the reason I'm using the word human is because that's what we are. Nobody can be completely, or can claim to be completely black or white, right? There's gray, and there's gray in all the characters. There could be nobility, there's integrity, there's truth, but there are layers. And as far as there are layers, it's gray. And we all go through the gamut of emotions, right? So if you're going to approach your character in that way, then you're not going to think about black, white, or gray. You're not going to think positive, negative, protagonist, antagonist. All these things actually just fall away. They slide off completely. You're there essaying the character for who he or she is. And that's pretty much the approach. And Nandini is fascinating. And, you know, when Mani finished narrating, we just looked and we smiled, and he said, "You are. You've got to be Nandini." And I was like, yes. It was just, I mean, even gentle, not something bigger or not something. It was as simple, and I said, yeah, obviously. I mean, of course, like, and the beauty of Mani is he knows I will just say yes, irrespective. But each time he will reiterate, let it not be that. Let it not just be a yes because you're working with me or because, you know, I have brought you this film or this character. Let it be yes because you feel it. And through the narrative only, I mean, through the narration, we just know in the eyes, right? So it's just it's a natural yes. And you know this is a character you're going to love essaying, and I did, completely.
Did any of you have a moment when you just wanted to run away with the costumes and the jewelry?
Every day.
Every day.
We'll stick to women for that. We want to run away from the costumes many times.
Really? But
Because
even
it was like,
men.
see, if you see
wearing
Vande
real
Kevan, he's
jewelry,
been
by the way.
wearing that throughout the movie. And after
Yeah.
a point, because he gets wet, it had become hard. And
No, but you have to mind that's real jewelry. We'll become like money heist. No, we're not running away with all the jewels. Not that. But like sir was saying, there were times when you just want to remove the armor. It's not like running away. If you want to be in Manisa's set, can I remove the armor? No, shot is ready. So, okay, I'll stand with it. We all used to have sets to prop us up, like stools.
we didn't have chairs. We all had
Stools.
stools, so we had to sit the edge. You can't slouch. You can't sit back in a chair.
So your posture's been fixed for the rest of your life, basically.
Almost.
Like I couldn't drink water
That's
like
a
this.
healthy habit actually.
Why?
Sitting
Because the hair and the earrings, it would hurt my
Earrings.
entire
The
face.
straw.
So
Oh,
I
I have a
got used to
picture.
drinking everything with a straw.
Straw.
It was
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
strange, yeah. I had like sippers on all my bottles because this used to hurt.
No,
Just
Vikram
that
sir was
part
saying,
of,
I love your body language. I said, no, it's hurting. So he thought I was performing. I said, no, my shoulders. I have to adjust myself to move normally. So. But it comes in the shot. And he said, it's very interesting.
I'm just in pain.
Yes, women love it, no, actually. Everybody's finally welcome aboard, as you say.
That's right,
Everybody's on the same turf of knowing that you've got to handle it all, right? It's not vanity, it's commitment. When you've got to handle,
true.
you know, your costume and your jewelry and hair and all of that,
It's
and
part of
all
your
the
character.
paraphernalia, you know? So they know now. I mean, you know, so everybody knows, and it's great. I mean, there is just that quiet mutual respect, and get on with our jobs.
I was just so thrilled. I wanted to sleep in it. I was like,
It's stunning.
I really enjoyed it. Yes,
Yeah.
it
She
was
came
such a
dressed
joy.
as Vanity for the audience. She came in character. It was so cute. Yeah.
Everyone coming in their character, and then nobody turned up like that. I felt like such an idiot.
You know, you've spent 135 days making 2 films. You've been promoting it, and now this is the last stretch, right? What are you going to miss most about Ponniyin Selvan?
Manisa.
Them.
Nothing.
I think, for me, it's Manisa in the movie,
togetherness,
but I think I'll miss the PR section the most.
That's so lovely, because mostly people say to us that this is the worst part. Promotions are the
Not
worst.
for us,
No,
actually.
today we were a little, I
tired,
think
yes.
this particular one we've been a little more serious, just a wee bit more serious.
Nice.
Is it each
spend
other?
kind of, I think, time collectively more on the promotions
Yeah.
and
Because
probably
all
on
of
the
us are
making,
like, I've
because
hardly
all
met,
are
I've not
playing-
worked with the both of them.
Yeah.
And it's one scene with all of
It's
them,
all
including
different.
my heroine. So
We are just one phone call away from each other. That's all.
yeah, and that time we didn't have phones. So.
Century.
Listen,
I feel like we're all, I mean, it's a transient situation in general, and as actors, we're sort of mentally tuned to attached, detached, but somewhere we're always colored by the experience. The canvas always has a little bit of that. So I think that we carry
Poetry,
at
as
some
usual.
level.
How lovely.
So poetic. Yeah.
That is so poetic. Well, I cannot wait to see the film. Thank you and congratulations.
Cannot wait. I don't know if there will be more interviews, so don't expect more reactions. I'll be watching the movie soon. I've already watched. You're watching I'll put it here. If I come out watching the movie, you can check it out here. Click here. And let me know your thoughts. Just fun camaraderie between all the actors. And when you see them in the character, you see, oh my god, they're just behaving so differently because they're playing that character. So excited for the movie. That's it. Bye. See ya.